Hello community, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know from which part of the site all of you are here now, but I'm sure that crowd here is interested to hear something about security. This presentation will not be operational. It will not show you how to write a command, how to do something practical, but I hope I will show you a much broader picture about security and why is this so important, especially in these days. Okay, title is how to act prudently before cyber attack and what to do if we are under the attack. So these are two segments divided in two section presentation. In first part, I will try to show you from my experience, from my company, from my field of work, what we are doing to actually prevent as much as possible any type of cyber attack and what we are doing if something goes wrong. And so this presentation is purely based on the experience, my personal experience, and my experience of my company, and the experience of my co-workers and my colleagues. Okay, these are the timetables. We will start with strategy because most important part in any decision-making strategy. Without that, it's ad hoc, and we are doing ad hoc. Then in that case, we will make mistakes. So strategy, planning, policies, testing. What if actually attack is happening, and awareness as a crucial part of any practical skill set, also in security, how to keep your crowd, your team, your company, your whatsoever security aware enough to actually respond, because you need that all your employees, your all teammates actually be on your side. If they are not aware, in that case, they unconsciously actually working for the other side. I mean, bad guys and bad girls. But before the attack and before the start, I just wanted to show you a couple more slides, just to give you a hint and raise your awareness if you are not enough in security, just to see how things are bad, especially in this COVID-19, before the COVID, but especially in COVID-19 cybersecurity space. Okay, this is my favorite slide. I always open all my sessions with this topic, with something similar, but this one actually show you from the site informations are beautiful, and the subsections involve biggest data breaches and hacks. You have you can find on your own from 2009, actually from 2008, and from 2021, all the biggest reported data breaches in the world. And you see on these names, Facebook, I don't know, Marriott, Microsoft, down below, Marriott 2 times, Yahoo 2 times by billion, and so on and so on. So each of these numbers are the millions and the billions. So if this happened, if these cybersecurity incidents actually happen to the big players, such as Facebook, such as Microsoft, Marriott Hotel, and so on, that should ring the bell to all of us, that we also need to think very carefully about our security policies, about our security strategy, to actually see maybe something is going to us below the radar. Maybe you don't know for that. The worst case scenario, it will be that someone is inside your perimeter, network, database, application, name it of IT layer, but you're not aware of it. And if you're not aware of it, so all of your security policies are failing, because you simply can't detect anything unusual inside. So this presentation is actually I hope will show you the strategy, tips and tricks, how to align your cybersecurity to actually respond on all these events. Okay, these are the big players, but the most recent attacks, I believe you follow them. on your Twitter accounts and Facebook and LinkedIn, but a couple of them are actually 1 week old. So the last Friday, actually the Kaseya ransomware attack was launched in USA, and that type of attack is actually knocked down thousands of IT and non-IT businesses. Why? Because they use Kaseya software, and Kaseya software was under supply chain attack, and the code base was compromised. So anyone that actually used that service under or inside their company will actually be exposed, and they were exposed under Kaseya ransomware attack. And actually, it was biggest ransomware attack so far in the IT history last Friday. Just a couple of days before that, the print nightmare was also critical Windows principal vulnerability, actually, that also hit very hard the IT community, because the most PCs and laptops actually under the Windows. So each PC had the print spoiler service started by automatically, so they were exposed. Microsoft actually situation is so bad that they just give you a hint to ad hoc solve the solution. You need to actually to start the service, and I believe they released the patch 2 days before, but the patch was not 100% okay, because in some cases attack is still was able to do. So you see that these kind of the attacks is happening each day, and the in this case are not only the big players under the attack. Why? Because now the attackers actually tried to find the most cool, the most used service that actually is below the all of all our businesses, and when they compromise that service, actually they compromise all the layers below and above of that IT product, service, and actually it is also ring the bell in this case that even even in cloud-based environments, the attacker can also find a way to hit us very hard. So the ransomware is actually the attack number one in the world, especially in non-IT and also in IT companies. Okay, COVID-19 reality check. You are all aware that with this pandemic, is actually the cybersecurity was really under the pressure. Departments, CISOs, all the companies was forced to move the working force from the offices outside the offices in the unsecure environment. Also, they're working from home. Some common spaces, centers. Public Wi-Fi. So, from my perspective, I'm working especially in a company that actually degrades software. Our employees are working from home, from co-working spaces. From bus stations. In the nature, they just need the 5G, 4G, or Wi-Fi access to actually do something useful. But also, as they are outside our secure environment, that actually create the bunch of endpoints that actually increase the cybersecurity risk. If you look at this chart, you will see that from 2019 into 2020, this percentage actually show us how much is increased in this each category comparing 2019, so before the COVID-19 outbreak. You see the phishing and scam and fraud and ransomware is actually are the most exposed and most strong in a bad way, strong type of the attacks that actually hit each and every day, every part of the IT environment in the world, but we are just not aware of it, because if you use decent anti-malware software, if we use if we are following the rules, cybersecurity policies, we are inside the VPN, we are using 2FA and so on. Actually, this kind of the attacks can't hurt us. But if you are lack of any of these that I mentioned before, then you should maybe think much better to try to increase something in your cybersecurity awareness. And as a final in this intersection, in September 2020, there was the two fatal outcomes of the ransomware, where the German hospital was under the attack of the ransomware attacker, and the system actually was live support system for two patients was encrypted, and there was no help for these. Actually, I believe it was one woman and one man, and actually they die. They die because the medical personnel was not able to do anything, because their life support was under that PC. That PC was under the attack. So you see that the brave new cybersecurity world is actually now have to deal with situation and risk where the human life can be potentially at the risk, and situation that actually people will die in this type of the attacks. Okay, let's start now. What you will need to do, what you need to think, and actually maybe just as a information, as a input parameters in your mind to get the bigger picture, and to start to see the battlefield below you, in front of you, and behind you, that actually is all around of us. Okay, the most important part is strategy. As I mentioned before, any type of business, cybersecurity, architecture, anything without proper planning, without strategy, vision, and implementation is ad hoc. Ad hoc is okay in some segment, in some phases as a startup, when you need to be agile and you need to be adapt and move very quickly. But at some point in time, you will see that this ad hoc actually they create a lot of risk behind you, and you will simply not be able to respond all of them. Why? Because situation is move very quickly. So this picture is actually give you a hint about usual day online, and this fortress, it can be your company, it can be your home, and all the soldiers outside is actually trying to get benefit, of course illegal benefit inside your resources, and they're trying to go through the firewall, to your threat model, to actually try to challenge your incident response teams and so on. And on the top of your tower should be the main security strategy head of team person, or many of them. It depends on the size of your business. But without security in management level, CSO, CISO, you name it, the acronym is irrelevant here. Just that person should be security aware, with decent technical knowledge about IT, and really strong security background to actually get the vision, create it, based on that, create a strategy and deliver that strategy or vertically and horizontally inside all your company, inside all your departments. If you don't have CISO inside your company, as a first aid, security department should help. But again, security department should have head of security and the operational level individuals. But head is really down below, and there is no direct connection between that part and management. So any decision making will be with delay. But in some cases, the delay is not an option, because you need to act very quickly. To be honest with you, today situation in world today is actually force us to rethink the security again, because security as before is a monolith. It's really hard to move. It's really hard to change, because there's a lot of elements inside that actually put all together. But if you need to replace something inside your system, it's really hard to do. So the security will need to become very agile, very mobile, very adaptive in modern IT environment and world, because attackers is actually evolving. Attackers and the attacks evolving each day, and each of these attacks here I show you actually was too advanced. They are so advanced that classic security simply was not able to recognize them, and actually to create the policy strong enough to eliminate this kind of threat. And the worst case scenario, that your security is dependable on IT department, because IT department is IT, not security. Yes, they need to handle security on the operational level, but in this case, the security strategy and implementation is on them. And maybe their set of skills and knowledge is not strong enough to actually fulfill all these needs. When you have a strategy, then you need to go in a plan, actually to plan to defend your business. The crucial part is risk analysis. Yes, it's boring, it's theory, but without risk analysis, again we are speaking about ad hoc. And ad hoc, again, it means you will make mistake. You will also make mistake here, but with risk analysis, there is a system. So you should identify the critical processes, items, entities inside your business, and try to calculate the risk. For example, login screen on your web page, application layer, database layer, each endpoint you should analyze and say, okay, risk is 50%, 99%, 10% that actually someone will try or penetrate based on their skills and knowledge set. Also, the crucial part is to make a decision. Are you going to force your company, if you are in strategy, or if you are on the C level, are you going to force the ISO 27001, GDPR, HIPAA, CCPA, and all other bunch of security standards, policy, registration, laws that you actually need to implement to support your business? But for example, I'll just give you a hint about ISO. ISO is really good because ISO will give you all the information and the policies and the rules how to set the scene. But ISO is actually really monolith. So ISO is not for small size business. I will be brave enough to say even for middle size of business, if you are moving too fast, if for example your teammates and your team actually needs to adapt based on the client requirement, that in some cases can be ISO not compatible, that in this case you should make a decision. Are you going to say that your client also you need to be ISO, or you will try to say I will not use ISO in this specific case. But in out control, that specific case could give you some really bad scores, and audit policy can actually take ISO from your company. So yes, you should make decision about are you going to use or implement each of these. Also, threat modeling. What you need to be secure, who is responsible, technical, non-technical control, how to support people. All of these items are important, and they are the part of the job of CISO. The CISO needs to actually create the bigger picture, big plan, calculate the risk, recognize as much as possible potential risky situation, and then create the policies. So the next step are the policies. Create the policies and the plan how to execute that policy and how they will control execution of this policy, because policy is a piece of paper or PDF if you are looking at the digital version. But if you say, okay, this is a better policy, and let's use it. We are going to be cool company. We'll use 2FA, anti-malware, remote and beyond, and so on. But if there is no control, and if everything stays on, there is a policy, and no anything else after that, I believe you will have just bunch of policies without any meaning. So you need to actually to force, control, measure each policy. For example, in my current position in company CISO, any policy, let's say abuse, any policy not following, actually finish on my desk or in my mailbox. So decision about that is on me. But we have the monitoring policy and mechanism actually the follow and try to give us insight how the employees, personnel, contractors, and so on, even our clients actually handle our policy. Are they using or they are using that? I'll just try to give you point you in couple of policies, especially in this slide, that they are really important in this remote work, COVID-19, and after. I really hope after COVID-19, I believe this situation we will actually soon as much as possible, and we are going to back in some kind of normal. But this remote buzzword will stay. The mindset is changed. The business has changed. So the people have changed. I have changed. I am working from home for a year and a half. So I'm okay with that. Yes, I'm going to office. I'll visit my colleagues. Yes, we drink the coffee. Yes, we go outside. But my work is actually perfectly fine in situation like this. But each employee, including myself, for example, you have a company with 200 employees. Each of these 200 employees is now unsecure endpoint, because Wi-Fi, 5G, 4G, they are working from bus station, I don't know, name it. So you need to create the rules and policies to try to secure enough. It is not possible to secure 100% anything. So each person that actually deals with cybersecurity and security in general knows that ultimate security does not exist. So we are trying to achieve in some percentage. So we will try to defend, to secure these 200 employees as much as possible. So MFA policy, 2FA. So each endpoint of access, I don't know, Gmail, Outlook, Office 365, Azure, AWS accounts should be defended with at least 2FA access, because the password simply is not good enough. So the 2FA is decreasing risk enormously, and increase security enormously in that part of security. Also, you should create remote work policy. Depend on your business, depend on your needs, because there is no magic stick that will say, okay, magic and there's a policy. You should analyze your employees, your hardware, your software, your services, your everything, and based on that, create the remote work policy that your employees should apply. Also, the most important part is bring your own device policy. Yes, we all use phones now, smartphones. We use, I don't know, corporate emails, corporate Teams, corporate Gmail, everything corporate on our corporate laptops, because corporation is both for us and give it to us, and we are using on our personal phones, personal smartphones. And that's a tricky part, because the personal phone is under my control. It's mine, but I'm using the company resources on my personal phone. So you should create the bring your own device policy and install, control, again, strategy, planning policy. So on the strategy level, you should recognize it and enforce that each smartphone should have A, B, C, D, F, G, I don't know, use all alphabet if you need, of the software, of the anti-malware, of the audit, also, again, name it, to actually secure that kind of device. If employee will say, okay, this is my private smartphone, I will not install any of these, it's okay, it's perfectly fine with me, but you should not use the device, but I will create the services that actually will not be usable from the personal item. So you see that each of the policies, and there's a bunch of policies that you need to create, will actually create environment that should prevent cyber attack. Even if the attack happen, if someone try to brute force the attack of the company email, if you use 2FA, that attack will fail before the start. If you use this encryption policy and someone will try to physically install your machines from employees, and you implement AS256, that kind of attack will fail before the start. If they are using, if they are trying to deliver malicious payload through the email, phishing email, such as ransomware, and you have anti-malware policy, company anti-malware services, then this kind of the attacks will actually finish before they start. So all this story last 25 minutes, half an hour, is actually leads you to create an environment that will try to prevent, and if attacks start, it will stop the attack before actually create something malicious, try to create something malicious inside your perimeter. And the key point, policy, strategy, planning, policy, execution, you should have security exercise and testing. Why? Because if your team, you will see later in the presentation, there's a different kind of teams inside your cybersecurity division department, and if those teams are not tested, they don't have drills, they don't have exercise, military exercise, under the quotes, they don't know, and you don't know, as a strategy or somewhere in between, how they respond in the case of the cyber phishing attempt, ransomware, and so on. So this policy needs to be verified by practical application. You should, demonstrate. You should create control environment, control attack inside your company to see is my 2FA policy good enough? Is it my bring your own device policy good enough to actually survive some real world situation? And we will be really amazed in how many situations these policies are so strong, but you will see that they are failing, and always and again on the weakest chain in weakest part of the chain, and that's the human. Yes, you will see that always fails somewhere in most stupid situation that employee will even I will do the action actually is not covered by policy because it's so trivial, and they will trigger the attack. But I say this trivial because your policy should be detailed enough to even respond in these trivial situations. If they're not, you should recognize that and bring back the policy, but I will explain that later. When I say a bunch of teams inside your company, again, red and blue teams are kind of, I don't know, expensive toys, because if your company is not big enough, if your company does not have enough employees to actually support this kind of structure, then forget it. But if you have a company big enough, middle and enterprise-like business, let's say 500 employees and more, especially worldwide and geo distribution, then red team and blue team are really good exercise teams, and your special forces that will try to find the weakest links, weakest spot, and weakest part of your policy. So the red team is actually try to create the control attack. Actually, control attack with malicious something. It can be anything. So this kind of the attack are planned on annual basis. But the blue team by definition is IT department. So IT personnel skilled enough that will try to actually detect, respond, and prevent the red team attack inside your controlled environment. Why? It's much better that someone inside your company find that your, I don't know, your software you actually create is capable to create data leak of your database, because your developers are not created secure enough coding practical skill set to actually create decent software. But the red team and pen testing team should detect that before your software goes outside to your client, and in that case it will be a much bigger damage and shame, and maybe you could lose your business. Even in much more detailed scenario, there's a purple team. Purple team is actually is a middle layer between red and blue. If they are big enough, for example, red team is in New York, and blue team is in Sydney, and purple team is, I don't know, in London. So because this geo distribution, there's need that someone is actually coordinate these kind of type of actions, but this is an enterprise class audience. But you should at least try to find one person inside the company and give them red team medal, and one person and give them the blue team medal. Push them to the skill set, give them education, and give them, okay, I will give you 6 months, 1 year. Try to find is there anything wrong with my security inside my company, and those results, when they're fine or they will not find anything, should be confirmed without side red team testing. When you hire I don't know, consulting service or some other company, again under the NDA, they'll try to penetrate inside your company based on different type of text. Then you'll see is your security policies department and personnel actually up to challenge to respond adequately in any kind of situation. Now you can actually even check yourself while I'm speaking this presentation. I'm almost done. You see, these two web pages. Have I been bound, and actually how is secure my password. Actually, the official sites, they are totally okay. Don't worry. That on the first, you can type your personal email or corporate mail, and they will actually try to go through all the deep web database leaks to see is there any reference based on your email. If they find your email, they will give you the red light and say, okay, your email is shown, I don't know, in Marriott breach, in Yahoo breach, with last name, first name, credit card number, hashes, and so on and so on. So it will give you information. Do you need to act immediately or not? Even if you are a security head or above, you can force that your IT department actually use the service of have I been bound to connect with your company email to give you a pushback notification immediately when the company email is actually shown find anywhere in the deep web. And the next page, how secure is my password? This actually it's an 8-character password, and you see this combination of the numbers, of the special signs, small caps and lower caps. So any combination, and you see that this 8-character password should be and can be break with brute force, not dictionary attack, because there is no fire and FWO1 dash. That word it actually does not exist in dictionary. So this 8 hours is a brute force attack. Now, why I actually showing you 8-character password here? Because there's a bunch of companies, personnel, employees that actually they are stuck. I don't know why they are stuck somewhere with the 10 years old policy that password should be maximum 8 characters long. Why? Because the password with 8 characters can be broke with 8 hours actually job long done. So that passwords are not secure. Without 2FA. For example, so this password can give you full sense of security. You say it's not a word, it's not dictionary, it's not anything. It's a total bunch of random of characters. I'm secure enough. No, not secure. So if someone targets you and get the hash of your password will be tracked down during the 8 hours, even less. So anything less of 12 characters, 16. I advise is simply doesn't make sense. So check yourself, please, and see are your infrastructure, are your policies, are your emails actually strong enough in this segment. Okay, after the attack, actually this is a scenario of most of the attacks when the bad guys and girls in section 1 try to use social engineering. Their social skills, your social accounts, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, to actually create profile of you. You'll be amazed how many information can be gathered of each one of us online, and the person and the company, malicious company. Because when I say malicious company, there is no how to put this way. Okay, the time when you have the one hacker that actually do something for fun and try to become famous is actually long gone. Now you have organizations, state sponsor crimes that companies, individuals, groups actually sponsor, enforce, and push by the entire state to do something wrong and bad. So if they target you, they will create a profile of you, believe me. And based on that profile, they will create a dedicated payload for you, especially for you, not for all of your employees, especially for you. And they will launch that deploy. And if you have failed with your security, that payload will go inside your infrastructure through the firewall, through the website, etc., and actually go deep dive inside your cloud environment, or inside your on-prem environment, or inside your hybrid environment. And based on that, they will try to find the database files depending why they are attacking you, and they will try to actually pull all this stuff out. But your cybersecurity should have the cybersecurity incident policy and team ready. They are always on standby, and you should also have the mechanism to actually detect something is going wrong here. If you detect something on the phase 4, yes, it's okay, but it's too late. If you detect something in phase 3, much better, but you should stop exfiltrate of your data in the process. If you detect something in stage 2, it's the best case scenario because the payload is launched, but is on the entry level or is not even go inside. Or if you can detect that someone is actually searching for you, asking for you, and do some research based on your activities, it's really hard to detect this phase, but it is possible if you have, I don't know, a lot of mechanisms inside your old system to actually see if someone trying to see anything ordinary or not so ordinary based on your profiles. So this team should detect the incident. Incident doesn't mean breach. Breach is in phase between phase 2 and 3 and 4. So incident is 1 and 2. So they'll try to detect incident and try to prevent bad situation happen. How? Okay, they can give a head start to the bad guys and girls to actually see what they are up to do. So if they are attacking, they think that everything is okay, but there's a big brother inside your team actually take control of the situation all the time, and they can cut off in any moment this communication. So yes, it's really dangerous part of the job, but it's the best case scenario because you will see it's actually who is on the other side. If you pull the hard stop immediately, yes, you will prevent the attack, but you will lose connection and possibly lose any link. It's actually who is behind this attack. So incident doesn't mean breach. So your incident response team is actually the other part of the story, what to do if something goes wrong. So this team is actually the mix. Again, it's depending on your business. So if you are a non-IT company, you should hire IT professional skill set person with cybersecurity skill set, IT skill set, and in some situation, team lead skill set, because that team should have the person actually the lead of them in correct way to correctly respond in this situation. And these are the roles: team leader. It's obvious who is the team lead. Lead investigator is the highly technical person or persons if you are speaking of a bigger team, that is, for example, have the skills in network security, database security, application security, encryption policies. So because you don't know in which part of your infrastructure policies was a breach. So you need to cover with all expertise all these elements to actually, because without that you can't recognize part of the system where is leaking. Communication lead is a PR person that will in the Facebook case, in the supply chain attack, in the Microsoft case. So in the big world, in the world of the big players, PR that actually goes in front of the public and say, we are cool, we are fine, yes, we are breached, that's fine, that's cool, don't worry, we have a situation under control, but they are not. So it's a typical PR lead. Documentation is important because you need to document all the steps, because you will see on the last slides why you need to have all these papers or digital implementation to actually push back with feedback loop all this knowledge of the breach back on the square one. And the legal representation, in some cases, the court of law can be triggered. So the lawsuits and so on, you need to be covered also in this part. And you can see in this cybersecurity incident action steps, let's say one scenario. Okay, something is going. We have a project incident, internal, public relations, detection analysis, all this stuff, and lesson learned. When you write the post-mortem document, when you describe what was happened from A to B to Y, and you say, okay, this attack was happened because one of the employee was not turned off 2FA and is not turned on the encryption policy. Okay, how is that possible? Okay, now we are going back to the policies and see. I see that there is a no forcing part, because we are leaving to the employees their on their free will. Are they going to do actually to activate 2FA or not? So you should force through your IT department that 2FA and encryption list policy should be launched as that, without their knowledge or without their consent, because they are using a corporate infrastructure. So it's a security policy. Yes, they will be informed. Yes, we are doing something, but it is not an option, it's mandatory. So yes, with lesson learned, you will recognize all these situations that should be fixed in the strategy, planning, and policy part. Just quickly, 10 steps to cybersecurity. I will give this presentation on my GitHub repository. I will give you access. So just follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. You will have the link. It's the basics, but again, you will see how much companies and individuals simply are not following these rules. For example, the fourth one, USB sticks. Removal media controls. It's so tempting, and you will see when you leave the stick in this control the attack. When you create the stick, that actually will install keylogger on the laptop of your own employee. You will see that they're using these sticks and they're just putting inside their laptops. It's curiosity. It's human nature, but you should prevent this with the policies. Yes, it's the basics. We are speaking about it all the time, but people will always use, in 70% cases, that USB drive and put it on inside the PCs, company PC or not. And the last one, awareness. Awareness should be created with all these steps before, but you should make the fun of that. Don't create the enemies inside your company, because security is a blocker. Security is hard. Security is heavy. But let's make it cool. Let's make it fun of them. So the quizzes, tests, games, and so on. We'll give a note of that. But on the same side, you will get information in data. Are your employees are good enough with phishing attempt, ransomware, or if they are developers, are they using, for example, OWASP top 10 cybersecurity recommendation to create best code as much as possible. And yes, this is my city, Mostar in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's a beautiful city in the Mediterranean Sea. It's a famous Mostar Old Bridge. Now it's 41 degrees Celsius outside. So after the pandemic, please feel free to came in Mostar, and please find me, and I will drink coffee with you. I will be happy to show you this beautiful city in my country. This is me, GitHub, LinkedIn, and so on. Just use my handle @Aspen_Zemovic. You can find the most of my professional and educational activities inside these services.